Okay, hello everybody, I'm back. The live feed completely cut out there. So I will carry on right where I left off and hope that I don't miss a beat. But what I was talking about was on your personal profile for your Clubhouse page. You want to make really optimize these first three lines because they're searchable. And you want to make sure that you for sure make it readable, and accurate. But put as many keywords in there as you can because search terms that people will type in, your audience will type in looking for information on. If you're a yoga person or something to do with pets or marketing or whatever, you've got to have those keywords in there. And in the case of mine, I help motivated entrepreneurs, so entrepreneurs is one, discover their ideal online business. Online business is a search term for sure. And to discover their online business and deploy the right marketing strategies. So, marketing is definitely one for their audience and resources so their business will thrive. And there's business again. So, there's a handful of them, and it's very, very clear what I do. So, that's really good. Now, it's important too what you choose for your photo, for your image, because if you're going to be using this for business, you've got to think in terms of a professional shot. It definitely needs to have your face in it. You can be facing a different way if you want to, or looking away from the camera, or be further away, but it needs to be professional looking. And I mention that because I've seen a lot of beautiful women on this platform with various images of various body parts, and it's like very eye-catching indeed, and it definitely stops the scroll, so to speak. But depending on what you're trying to do, or if you're trying to do business on here, that just might not be the most professional way to go about it. Nothing, no offense to anybody. Everything I've seen has been quite interesting. So, but I just wanted to make that point. And of course, you're free to do whatever you like and get whatever kind of comments. And I've actually heard people talking about it in rooms too. So it's certainly not just my opinion. Okay, back to the scroll and what's on here. When you are scrolling down the page, you've got your first three lines, which are super important in your bio. After that, I always put whatever my current promotion is in there and have a link that's always made up website, my website, legitebiz.com. That's not too hard to remember. And then I just put the slash and whatever I want on the end. You can definitely do that. And you don't have to have a promotion in there. And if you don't even have one, that's totally fine too. But the next thing you should do is excuse me, what's called like a bullet section of keywords that describe you, your accomplishments business wise with the emojis. And the emojis are super, super, super important. And remember, those are also searchable. So what you want here is sort of like a quick snapshot of what your CV or your resume might look like. And the idea is, think of it this way: when you're on Clubhouse, and I'll go into a room in a second here so that you see, you're listening, right? Like that's what you're doing. And of course, lots of people are going to be multitasking too, and driving or running or cleaning the house or whatever they're doing. But you are, if you want to check out the bio of somebody, your mind is occupied listening. You're not reading like you normally would be. So people who are putting blocks of text in there are really missing out because not very many people are going to be able to take that in. And what you want to do when you're setting this up is to think in terms of, what do you want people to glean quickly from you when they're knowing that they're already also occupied elsewhere mentally, listening to what's going on in the room as they're just getting quick hits on bits and pieces about you. So those keywords and and the emojis are super important, and they're really, really effective. Further down from there, it's a good idea. You can again put more information about a promo if it fits in there, but you're going to want to, at this which they call long form, about you personally. You can put that in or take it out. I don't actually have the three liner on me personally, but what I do have next is the keywords and emojis for me personally, right? So I've done it business wise, now I'm doing it personally, and that's what works really good. So down at the very bottom here, this is where you've got your link here. You can see I'm only on on Instagram, I'm not on Twitter. But I've also said here you can DM me or you can email me And I've got a pretty easy to remember email address. So those are things you can put in there too. That'll help a lot as well. I can see the feed is kind of jumping. I hope that this is actually taking this time. Let me just pop into a room and show you what that's like. I'm just going to pick any room here. Although I'd prefer a big one so nobody sees me. Oh, there's not very much going on right now. Okay, here's a big, 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 big one. Let's have a listen. I just clicked on it, and then it just shows you all the people who are in here, right? And if you want to, the way you know who's talking is because there's this gray circle around the person, and also the microphone is gone, right? So you know that they are the one who's talking. Let me just turn the volume down though, so that you don't have to. I don't have to compete over that for you to listen. But let's say you wanted to then go and check out the bio of this nice looking man in a tux. And you'll be able to read. If you want to follow him, you can click there and follow. And if you do, by the way, then you get the option right beside for this bell, which is notifications. And if you click that, it's going to ask you, when do you want to be notified that this person is hosting a room? And you can say whatever frequency you want to. So that's a really good thing to have there. And you can unfollow people too, whatever you like to do. But this is how, when the information is going on in the background and you're listening to people talk, then you can just quickly scroll through. Oh, very nice and neat. Isn't that nice? Totally different style, right? And there is no wrong way, really, other than possibly, racy photos. But anyway, that's basically how you get in and out of the rooms. If you always leave quietly at the bottom when you're ready to go. That's the way that works. And what happens is people will ask you while you're in the room. The moderators is what they're called. People who are speaking. There could be one or many. And the more co-hosts or moderators you have, the better. And they'll ask you, would anybody like to raise their hand and come into the room? And I didn't actually show you that, but when you're in the room, on the bottom here, you've got these two options. So the hand is where you would put your hand up. And it's not always open, but when they want you to be able to do that, you can do that. And this plus sign means that you would ping people in. So if you hit the plus sign, it's going to show you people you're friends with, and it's also going to give you the search bar, and that's where you can type things in. You could type names of people or keywords, online business, coaches, whatever, and then other people will come up and you just tap them to ping them into the room to say, hey, I'm in here, I think you should come and join me. Is basically what that's about. So when people are ready to invite the guests up onto stage to ask a question or make a comment, that's when they'll open up their hand raising, and you can put your hand up and you can go on up and say hello, and it's fun. And if you want to create your own room, I'll go into more detail on that in another video because there's a little bit more to it. This is just a real basic quick look at how to get started quickly on Clubhouse. And if you would like to grab my free guide, you can do that. I put together a really good one page, like with 28 tips, just do, so that you can go through and you don't have to read through reams and reams and reams of just filler information to make a document thick. It's one quick page snapshot of how to get yourself up and running fast and the right way. Because things like, for example, choosing your username, once you've done that, and you can't go back in a lot of cases. So yeah, definitely grab your name. That's the first big thing. But if you want to grab that guide, you can feel free. There's a link to it but you're not on here. I'll put a link in the bottom of this Facebook Live. But if you want to go there, you can just simply type into your browser www.legitebiz.com, EBIZ, legitebiz.com/CH for Clubhouse basics, legitebiz.com/CH basics. And you can grab that guide anytime. And incidentally as well, for anybody who happens to be on here or catches this, I'm moving from this platform to the next one immediately. As soon as I shut this live down, I'll be going onto Clubhouse and opening that room that I showed you. And it's just going to be a safe, fun, friendly place for anybody to come and practice being on Clubhouse. And you can come up on stage and say hello and get your feet wet and dip your toes in the water and see what it feels like to do that in a fun place. Because this great big honking room here with all these people is probably not the place that you want to try for the first time. Trust me. Anyway, have fun with it. Watch for more from me. I will definitely be guide to how to Clubhouse very, very shortly here. And as always, do feel free to come back, same time, same place, every week. Each Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific, I do a live installment of the Legit eBiz show. And next week will be episode number 6. And it's going to be great. Whatever the topic is going to be, it is going to be a surprise, but it will be great. So, on that note, I'm going to carry on and move to the next place. And thank you very much for tuning in live or on the replay. And I'll see you again next time. Thanks, everybody.